What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode of the ClockCast, we are going to be interviewing Chinchilla.
Hi.
Correct me if I'm wrong, your in-game name is ChinchillaGamer 9, right?
Yep, that's me.
Alright, Valyrian Steelers, perfect. We're talking to a full-on whale. I mean, look at that Elvira right there. Got an Elvira over there, Lord Inheritor. Hydrorian. Omega whale, if I do say so myself.
Uh, I'm like, I am. I'm not like a full-on whale, but yeah. So like mid whale, dolphin.
Get the good stuff, you get the good stuff.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Well, some of you may know me. I'm Chinchilla. I run the League server, the primary League server in the Monster Legends community, and I play Monster Legends somewhat competitively, not much, and yeah, that's really it for my introduction.
What got you started doing the whole leak server thing? Like, where did that come from?
So uh, one day, like I was pretty bored, and I was like, I was watching one of Armor Gaming's videos,
Right.
so
As one
I
does
was
when they're
just like,
bored.
yeah, yeah. So way back then, he used to do them on uh, Gaming Coalition, like on that server, very old. Um, so I was like, you know what would be great? I should make a server just for League, and because there at the time there was no like real server for only League, and so I told Armor, and he helped me with the promotion, and that's how it started, really.
Great stuff. Great stuff. How long have you personally been playing Monster Legends?
Well, I played at the beginning of it, like at the way beginning when Choco Love came out, so like 7 years ago.
Right, right.
Um, but then I quit right after I think Baruna came out, and I didn't really come back until like 3, 4 years ago. So yeah,
Still a hefty amount of time to be playing straight.
yeah.
For sure, for sure.
I used to help him a lot in the past when he like asked for help uh, with his live streams, but now I'm just kind of a mod on his streams when he streams, and that's really it.
You personally still enjoy playing the game?
Well, um, I definitely enjoy it a lot more than, for example, during the Mythic era, the original Mythics.
Yeah, the OGs, yeah.
Yeah, those were terrible for me. I don't know. I didn't like them. But
Whoa.
so right now, I think I've been enjoying the game to its to a great extent since I can rank up a majority of the monsters without having to whale out a lot of cash. So yeah, it's
For,
fine.
for
Like
sure,
it's
for
fun.
sure. Prices have definitely seemed to go on the decrease a bit. Today we're gonna make a tier list of doomed attackers. Starting off, we've got our beautiful Lord Inheritor. What are your opinions on this monster?
Um, well, personally, when I've used him, he's pretty decent. But that armor relic slot, I'm not really a fan. But with Killer Rogue's armor, I think he is very, very decent. So yeah, I like him a lot. So maybe S or A.
For sure, for sure. He's got, what is he got? He's got some PER capabilities with damage after the PER, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, massive with no, sorry, PER, and then massive.
and which is extremely powerful, especially with how dominant positive effects have been in the game. War-wise, definitely a strong defense candidate and can definitely be manipulated offensively. Whereas PvP, he's starting to hit a little bit of a down low, but he's still a great defense PvP monster just because of that immune to torture. It's hard to get around and hard to brute force a monster sometimes. With the introduction of Cupid, of course, that light on dark just wipes him completely, but still a very strong candidate. So you think S, A?
Since he has been on the low a bit, so I'm thinking A, but you have the final say so.
I agree with that. A. Next up, how about Dartmouth Khan?
I don't know. He's just too weak. He's so weak. But
yeah, you never see Dartmouth Khan around, even in Dragon Wars, where he used to be the only dragon monster for Doomed. You just don't see him.
Dragons are so awful right now. Like, they are really bad.
Yeah.
Danny Soros might save them like a bit with Syntheris, but they're not that great. So
no, definitely not.
I would say C or D, since his relic slots are pretty bad and his damage output relies on that damage boost with his skills. So personally, I would give him D tier.
All right, we'll go with D tier for a minimal war output and almost no PvP output. What about our beautiful thunder monster, Thundork? Bit of an extra turner per the lightning category, thunder category, a common thing.
Well, I don't know. Her damage is just so low as well. But I think she, in some very, very niche situations, can work in war, but in PvP, you will never see a good Thundork defense. So I'm saying D again.
D again for Thundork. I would agree to that. For sure, most attackers that don't really carry something really, really powerful with them, like a dodge area attacker is powerful because of that natural defense in the dodge area, to where it can sustain itself slightly. With monsters like Dartmouth Khan and Thundork, they're just straight up brute force attackers, and there's so many things that could hinder that, to where they just don't have that viability. Next up, we've got Domination. What are your thoughts on our nature thunder crossover?
Well, personally, I'm a big fan since that Pen Gao thing is so strong on
the double for the nature. Yeah, definitely.
Very strong. So, his skills, they're not really that impressive. They're strong, but they're not anything too crazy. But I think he can still be used very well in certain teams. So I'm thinking A tier. I'm not sure what you think, but from my experience, I would give him the A tier.
In my mind, I've seen him on war defense quite a bit. He does decent output, and he's got that Uriel slot in case, he has that capability of revival, which is strong, extremely strong. But for him, I feel like he would be more B. I feel like he's weaker than Inheritor, as Inheritor has more viability in an overall sense, to where you're not going to see a plant domination in PvP almost ever. At least in, like, top PvP, where it's not just people using what they have, it's people using stuff because they have it all. So, in my opinion, plant domination would go down one for this. Would you agree to that one, based upon what I've said?
Well, yeah, since I'm not in like the top tiers, so I can't really relate. But
do
I
you
can
see plant domination in PvP?
No, almost never. Like when I go hard on PvP, no, I almost never see him. But when I do, he packs a decent punch with the pen.
For sure, he can blindside you if you're, setting up for all these usual things you're used to, and then all of a sudden here comes this giant puncher, giant heavy hitter out of the corner.
Yeah, especially with that 65 plus the damage boost from Pen, it can be really annoying, but I think B tier is appropriate for plant.
Alrighty. And then next up, another cross monster. We've got Water Metal Hydrorian. What are your thoughts?
Um, Personally, from when I faced him, he is so annoying. He is like really annoying, but he is very good. The only thing that brings him down, which is his biggest strength, I think it's artifact because of the pen damage boost.
For
Because if he
sure.
didn't have that, well, if he didn't have that artifact, he could get the 75% damage boost. So I think Bulwark would be even better on him. But right now, as he is, you can use the Thunder Beast, which is basic. Well, not basic, but it is a very good substitute. So I am thinking um A tier.
A tier?
The
I would
third.
I would agree to that. He's a very, very strong war defense monster. As you said, it's his greatest weakness and his greatest strength. That artifact trait is he gets nothing. He gets nothing positive. He gets nothing negative, and that it makes him hard to kill unless you're able to brute force that. And with monsters these days, they tend to carry at least 900k health, a million health in war battles, because there's lots of life. Not just the base life, but life ruins are becoming the thing. So, yeah, no, I would definitely agree to Hydrorian being A tier, sitting next to Inheritor. Next up, less exciting as the last couple. We've got Archduke. What are your thoughts on this light monster?
Man, Archduke got the short end of the stick with the reworks. He is just too weak. Like his insane damage skill, it really doesn't bring anything that crazy because he doesn't have um any real defensive capabilities in his trait. His status effects are very weak. So in general, I'm saying C or D. I'm not sure.
C or D? Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think he makes a good era saga carry, and that's about it. You're not going to see him in PvP. You're not going to see him in war. You're not going to see him anywhere. There's always better options. Like for the light category, for the wing category, you've already got Elvira over here, who is so much better than Archduke. To where, yeah, no, Archduke is going to go down to D. Next up, a denier who's been utilized mostly as an attacker, so we're going to classify him as an attacker for the purpose of this. Of course, he is primarily supposed to be a denier, but we do what we want to in this community. What are your thoughts on teddybomb?
Teddybomb is the goat. He is really good. He is extremely good. But I think it's very strange that people started to run him as an attacker since the beginning, since he's supposed to be denied. But deny, he has like 2 deny skills. Well, no, he has more, but they have extremely high cooldowns. But in general, he is a very strong attacker, except for that disgusting 4-turn cooldown on his
Oh yeah, his cooldowns, you're
strongest
gonna
one.
run into problems with those.
Yeah, but in general, that Pengao is so OP with him. So
Oh yeah, no,
I am saying,
Pengao definitely made teddybomb an attacker.
yeah, he is like crazy with that. So I'm saying S tier, the first S tier.
Ooh, gutsy. I think I would agree to that, as I've been a strong teddybomb advocate from the very beginning, especially as an attacker, because I feel like when a monster has dodge area, they don't need speed. They're gonna go second, no matter what, just based upon pure speed, unless you're running all speed with all team speed and getting that monster 40k speed, which there's no reason to do, because you're gonna have to get through a taunt monster most of the time, and they're not gonna get enough monsters in front to eliminate or just get, incapacitate a taunt monster and get to him and kill him or incapacitate teddybomb. So I've always felt like there's no reason to run the speed. Just put on that extra damage and you're just doing your team better. It just brings more synergy to it. And especially with the Peng, it just amplifies him so much. He gets up to 800k with that nature attack with Peng. So, for sure, S tier, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah,
Next
because
up,
he's like a good blend of defense and offense. He is really good.
oh no, he's so good. And he covers so many books, too. He's got what? Does he have Evil Legion? He's got,
Yeah, I think so.
or Villain or something over there. And then he's got Adventure, he's got Nature, he's got Fire. He's all over the place. I've seen him in almost every war since he's come out. He's just a really strong candidate. Next up, a slightly more iffy monster. People are on the fence back and forth about this one. We've got Jaeger Yearend, our New Year's monster. What do you think about this monster?
Well, I didn't buy him personally, but from what I've seen in wars, I think he can work like in some certain cases, but in general, I think he's like decently strong. But he's nothing too crazy or something too special. So from what I've seen, I would give him A or B.
I think I'd agree to a B tier for that one. He definitely, with that Pierce, that one Pierce skill, I mean, that can make and break the battle, and the Pierce is so OP because it just bypasses everything, and with the Doom monsters, they're generally able to one-shot just with that one skill if you apply that triple damage, which most restrictions have a triple damage for war, and then for PvP, of course, you can throw on whatever you feel like. So, with that, it depends on the enemy team, I guess. If it's a team where that one shot is that one monster determines the entire outcome of the battle, you eliminate that monster and you're done. You can just free skate from there, click auto, and go take a crap or something, it's something. But after that, if they're still protected by evasion or they've got a strong megataunt or something in front and they're still able to sustain themselves and fight you back, especially in war to where they could ship that coin still, it just brings his value down a little bit less, especially for a pay-to-win $100 rank 5 monster. I feel like he could have been more like some later monsters. But yeah, no, I would agree to a B tier for that one. He definitely has that punch. Next up, Golden Legend Pass monster and Spear of Destiny paywall, Chieftain Ellerork. What do you think about this guy?
Well, I am still on the fence about him. I think he's really good. I think he's underrated, to be honest. He has that immune to control. He has that 0/0 massive.
Oh no, yeah, that's 70 damage, 0 stamina, 0 cooldown, immune to control, to where you're not going to stop that hit, and it's a massive hit. That's a scary thing to see.
Yeah, so I think he's strong in that regard, but if he had double element, he would be insane because of pen.
Guaranteed one shots across the board.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any dots except for bleed, which really hammers him. But I like him. I never see him though, but personally, I would give him a B tier. I'm not sure, but I think a B tier would be well appropriate.
No, I'm going to agree to that. I've been a strong advocator for Ellerork since he came out. Since I saw him, I was like, that's a scary thing. I can't, like, if I was in a war and I was trying to protect all 3 of my monsters, and that thing was standing on the other side to where I can't stop him from hitting me with his 70 damage skill with 2, 3 strength runes, what am I supposed to do to stop him other than just straight up eliminate him? And if there's stuff protecting him, I've got to go through all those walls first. It's a tough thing to get through. To where he could be scary. Just not many people decided to go for him. So because he's underused, he's underrated. People don't see it, so people don't think it. But no, I would definitely agree to B tier for him too. Next up, we've got In the same pass as Mr. Alarork over there, we have Barbados Rex. What are your thoughts on Barbados Rex, our reboot legendary?
I think his relics are awful. Double sword is it is just awful, man. I don't know why people like it so much. Like on Bloomeria, when she came out, she was extremely strong at the time. But those relic slots are just horrible, man. I hate swords. They don't have a stamina recovering sword. The damage is like it's decent, but it's nothing too great.
With the new Elvira sword, for sure. Like 100k
Yeah,
damage.
yeah. Though the relics in general are getting a buff since they can now. Well, the new ones are going to start applying dots, which is
Yeah,
really strong.
most
But
definitely. We're going to need so many immune to torture when you touch a monster and suddenly you've got 20 dots on you. It's going to be insane.
yeah, so but I think he's like he's mad in general, but um he can work with the demon wing somewhat, but it is too risky, especially with seven sins. Like it is way too risky. So for general uses, I'd give him a C, but yeah, I think a C is well
Yeah,
worthwhile for him.
I'd agree to that. He's got really good damage output. He just doesn't have much going for him, but he's super strong. Unlike these monsters, to where they're pretty weak, he has that punch to where if you can pair him with good allies, he's going to hit hard. Another thing that I've thought is running him as more of a support and purposefully draining your attacker's life so that their demon wings triggers. That's just another thought that like he could have uses if you set him up correctly. Next up, YouTuber monster, we've got Fundy. Thoughts on
Oh
Fundy?
no, he is really bad. He is all. I think every YouTuber monster has just been really bad. Like exception, there has probably been like one that hasn't been good, but in general, I think the only good one was Macrini at the start of the era, since there was no other healer.
And it
But
was just for that healing for the for the air
yeah,
for the rank of survival dungeon. Yeah,
yeah, but Fundy, I think I never see him. Trap and Sword are just awful. Slumster's Trap is very good, but if you don't have that, you are so screwed. So I'd give him a D tier.
I would agree to a D tier for Fundy. Definitely, he's something that's never used and likely never will be used. Just not the best at any role. Next up, we've got Baby Kaladan, little cute guy with that spiky hair. The monster that was supposed to be the Tuska replacer and clearly is not. This Tuska is still used every which way, and I haven't seen a Kaladan used. What are your thoughts on Kaladan?
Um, well, I think he holds armor sword now. I think. Not sure, but if it is armor sword, well, he is his damage output. It's decent. Like it's good. It's definitely good. But he hasn't got anything really going for him personally. I don't see it. He is just Tuska, but worse since he just kills himself after like one turn, I think. So I don't think he's that good. So mm, I'd say either a C or a maybe a B, and that is stretching.
I think I'd throw him down with Barbados Rex and C, where he's got that output. He just a little flamboyant with it. He'll stand next to Barbados Rex, proud and tall. Next up, a pretty good monster in my opinion, but we'll hear your thoughts about it. Something that can be run as either support, attacker, or both at once. We have Elvira the Demon Slayer. Thoughts?
Um, so personally, I'm really a fan of Elvira. I really hate that she only has one AoE though. That just brings her down for me. But and that 3 turn cooldown is just not good. But in general, I really like the monster. I'm trying to get her to rank 5, so um I'd say low no sorry, high A or S tier because
S
of the
tier.
trade as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is very
AoE
good.
evasion, AoE torture immunity, so that you just completely negate their beast. This brings so many combos to the field with the both of those, to where you can manipulate and shut down a war defense and do the damage yourself at the same time. It's extremely powerful, and it seems like a lot of monsters are going more towards that single instead of AoE bit of running for their attacks, for their denies, for whatever they've got. Because, I mean, dodge area, they've been throwing dodge area at us left and right, to where they can utilize those singles a whole lot more than they used to be able to. But I would agree to an S tier on Elvira the Demon Slayer for sure. Next up, Shivaraka. $100 rank 5 monster. Bounty hunt, not so great in the bounty hunt when it came out, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, I got clowned on for hating on Shiv because at the time, um, I thought her damage output was like really bad, but um, I think she got like way too strong when they gave her permanent dodge area at rank 0, which I think is just I was not seeing it coming because at first I was um chatting and then imagine if he just gave if they just gave her dodge area and I was like no way, and then she came out with dodge area and I
Dodge
was like
area, heck
oh
yeah.
why
I feel like people say that before every monster's released, though. Like, if we don't know the traits, they're like, oh, what if it has dodge area? Well, there's dodge area.
Yeah,
Same with
they went
Uriel.
crazy,
Oh, yeah,
crazy with this era and dodge area. It is a really annoying man. But with the Pierce monsters, I think it's getting like a little bit more bearable, but still, it's annoying.
for sure, for sure. Where would you put Shiv on this list based upon your experiences with it?
Um, if there's no anticipation, she is like a moat. She can't infinitely cycle, but she basically just kills
She doesn't
everything.
need to infinitely cycle with that damage output.
Yeah, she is way too strong. The relic slots are very strong with Tetuman's mask since it will become craftable very soon, which I'm really happy about since I can finally use half of the monsters.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, for sure. If you don't have that mask, and so many monsters have a mask slot, to where like everything down here you gotta have that for it, you know.
I think I've I only use the ore mask the uh
That's what I've
on
been
all the
using.
mask monsters. Yeah, because Jazz Mask, due to how relics trigger, it is really bad. It is really bad. Well, it has fallen off a lot since stamina recovery has become more prevalent. So I think Ore Mask is still very good, but Shiv with Tetuman's Mask and the Pango Amulet or a Pango Amulet, I think she's S tier, like way too good.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Even when there is anticipation, she can usually get through it. Like if there's just a Poseidon ear or something, she just completely goes through that. She doesn't care. So yeah, no, we will throw her up there with Teddy and Elvira and come back down for Jack Russell. Oof. A monster that was released bugged and was fun to play with when it was bugged, but now that it's patched, it's well, what do you think about it?
He requires way too much setup, but if he can get the setup, I think he can get like one kill before he gets killed.
He
But
shiv without the dodge area.
yeah, he's just very bad since he doesn't have that defensiveness. So I'd give him. Mm, I'm not sure if C or low B.
Lobby. Yeah, I think I'd go for C, because if there's any anticipation whatsoever on the enemy side, he's done for. Because he doesn't have that natural defense, to where if you've got a Megaton protecting, you're no longer going to have that Megaton protecting. Give him a couple turns of his ETs. Most monsters can get through even a Pango within, 4 turns that it's going to take them. So yeah, no, I would say C. As you said, he takes too much setup, and he doesn't have that defense for him. Now we're entering some pretty recent monsters. We've got Cupid. Cherub Cupid. What do you think about Cherub Cupid?
With the triple damage combo, automatic guess. He's just way too good because of that beard. But on his own, he's good. Like, he isn't anything too amazing, but I think he can still clutch the A tier. But in almost every case now, since almost every triple damage monster covers at least one book, I think he gets the S tier.
Gets the S tier. Yeah, no, for sure. I've been seeing him migrate towards defense in PvP a lot more with his triple ET setup, since most people don't run an anticipation on their attacker team. Well, now that we've got an anticipation pierce, that's a little different story, but still, with his AoE light and his just hit after hit after hit, going through anything, especially with how people build their teams somewhat glass cannony, it for sure S tier on all sides. Next, we've got Bionic, another YouTuber monster. What are your thoughts?
He is bad. I don't know why Armor loves him.
I saw that Armor said he was good, and I took a look at him. I ranked him up a bit, I threw him into some playtesting. I was like, what the heck, Armor? You've lied to me.
Yeah, because he's just... what does he even do? He has like 2 ET skills, no setup, double element, which just doesn't help him. He's the only double element monster from the Doomsday era that didn't get 5 traits, which is like, why? But, yeah, the only thing he has is nano, and even that he can't target anything with that nano. So
yeah. Jack Russell is the Walmart Shivaraka, and then Bionic is the Dollar Tree Jack Russell.
Yeah, he's just like, why? Why did he like him so much?
I have no idea. I would agree to a D tier on that one. Next up, the ones that have just been released, and the final monsters of the beautiful Doom era, before we start off into hopefully another great era, but we've got Danny Soros. What do you think about this free-to-play bounty hunt monster?
I think he's decent. I don't think he's like anything too game-breaking, but I like him. I like his skills, his trait, the immune to control is really good. So I'd give him a B or a C, but I haven't played with him a lot, so I think you can take it away from here.
Yeah, no, I would agree to, I think, a B tier on him, because I've used him quite a bit. I got him rank 4 on day 1, and I've been playing with him since. He's about to reach rank 5. And I've been experimenting with some pairings, and when paired with Jackpack, who's got, anticipation and restores cooldowns and stuff, it makes an interesting combo to where he's just spamming his 50%. So he's two-shotting everything. And it's really, really good. And especially in war, in the dragon category, where he's going to be overpowering the rest of the dragon category because they just haven't been updated. They haven't been given the same love as other books, especially some of our big heavy hitting books, the Good Legion, the Evil Legion, where they've got 20 pages in them. Dragon has been lackluster, and he brings a refreshing take to the dragon book. Definitely way better than Dartmouth Khan. I would agree to a B tier on this guy. Gonna throw him in there. And then last, but certainly not least, our brand new pay-to-win monster. The thing that closes us completely off from the rest of the Doomsday era, who has nothing to do with any of the lore whatsoever in the Doomsday era, Elvira. What do you think about this monster?
Well, she just lives at the bottom of a mountain, but
Angels
she
fighting, devils fighting. There's some barbarians over there. There's a forest over. Yeah, I live at the bottom of a mountain by myself. Oh.
yeah. How did she even get the ambrosia? No one knows, but
She was
she
just
is
walking and she found it falling off a cloud.
yeah, but she is so broken. She is really strong. So even because she has one, basically it's an insta kill, which is a
For
70.
just about anything. You don't even
Yeah,
need a
it's a
damage boost
70.
on her.
Yeah, like why did they give her a 50% damage boost then ET, and then you can just one shot anything with Pierce? That is so broken.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I've used her with Peng, and her massive 30% skill one shots. It does over 1,000,000 life with no other damage boost except that 25 from Peng. It's just insane to use. It's like I don't need to bring Elgato or Regine or any of this stuff. I could just double Megaton this or something and just go through it like in the old days with Spec. It's pretty broken in my opinion, but and with that anticipation, you're covering Shiv completely. Shiv isn't going to use its ETs, and if it does, it dies instantly. It gives you the turn, and you one-shot it Dark on Earth. It's like, what the heck? What's the point of Shiv anymore?
yeah, I don't know. She is like way too strong. Even if she only has like one Pierce skill, for except for the status caster, because I don't see anywhere where you can run the setup skill for the Pierce. I think it is way too risky, especially since she doesn't have any defensive traits, like really good defensive traits. So but even without that, she is just way too strong.
She
So
doesn't even need the Pierce, really. I mean, she just walks through bases anyway. Takes her pick
yeah.
of the monsters.
So personally, I'm seeing another S tier because she is just that good, and I think she will maybe even outlast the new era. To be honest.
Oh no, for sure. An anticipation Pierce. I mean, how long have we been seeing Stock Killer for? We're definitely not losing this one anytime soon either. Stock little special with that UA capability, but this thing just damage output and trait permanent anticipation just kind of knocks it out of the water. You don't need the ETs when you're killing it in one shot anyway. So, for sure, I would agree to an S tier on this. And going back to what you said about the setup, for sure, it's a scary thing to try and use that when it doesn't have that defensive trait. I've used setup rarely in the game, and just the entire time I've played the game. And I feel like most people would resonate with this, to where you don't normally get that turn to be able to set up and then another turn to use what you set up for, unless you're using like an Anrika or a Lady Meow or something, to where they're able to protect themselves still with that dodge area and set up. Anrika's got her triple damage self skill, which was really powerful back then, to where, and if Elvira tried that, she's just leaving herself open as a sitting duck and it can just easily be cleansed away. But these are our doomed attackers. Might have missed one or two, but obviously if they're missed, they definitely going downstairs a bit. What are your thoughts on the overall tier list that we've got here at the finish line?
I think it's looking very good. Um, I think it's a good representation of um everything in the current meta at the moment. I don't think it's gonna be changing around too much. Maybe the bottom monsters will get power creeped, but in general, I think that this will be relevant for a while.
I would definitely agree to that, especially looking at the upcoming Zara whatever you want to call it. Looking at her stats, it doesn't look like the stats jumped that much.
They
The
look
power
like
stat looks to have jumped quite a bit, but the speed is sitting pretty even.
I think the stat increases are increasing by little. I don't think we're gonna be seeing stat increases for the upcoming eras. Um, because this with Zara, her skills aren't anything that great. Her stats increased by like 5%, somewhat from the base Doomsday, from the average Doomsday.
Yeah,
So
she's got the basic speed for a support. She's got what 7,800, but then her attack is equivalent to the strongest attacker power. So it's some differentiating. Her life is all right. You know, that extra base general, what was it, 121k as an average for the Doomsday era, jumping up to 130k on a support monster. I would say that she's in the mid range. So the tankier monsters are probably gonna carry 140, maybe 137, somewhere in there, to where it's just not going to make that much of a difference, to where these monsters are going to keep on living through it. Unlike in, Cosmic to Corrupted, where the stats jumped and then they added talents and they added all this stuff to where they become obsolete right away. It's not the same here. And these monsters up here, we're going to keep seeing them for quite a bit.
yeah. So talents, I think, really helped out with power creep in the game, like really fast power creep. I think they were a great addition overall, except for the really broken ones like Seven Sins. It's really annoying, but in general, I think they helped the game quite a lot to be able to use older monsters, and I hope Cosmics get like at least one talent to be able to use them or something, because half of the mythic monsters are basically useless at this point, and it's
Oh
really
yeah,
a
no,
shame
the
because
majority of them for sure. Between OGs and Cosmics, you can't really touch them anymore. There's very, very niche situations that you can use some stuff, but it's few and far between for sure.
yeah. So in general, I think they should add like something to Cosmics and OG Mythics to at least make them like usable to a level where you can use Fundy or something like that. Because um
Really did
I
fundy dirty
really
on that
like,
one.
yeah, no, he's just bad. But yeah, I'd love to be able to use some monster that isn't corrupted or above, since some of them have like really not like necessarily very good skill sets, but decent enough. So yeah.
Most definitely. Well, what are your thoughts on the Doomsday era as a whole? Did you enjoy that
Um,
spiel of an era?
Personally, yeah, but Seven Sins ruined it for me. It's just so annoying.
All that
It
stem
has,
drain and dots and
yeah, it's just so annoying,
that
especially
nanovirus potential.
when you could have won the battle, but it just starts off with nanovirus on
Yeah.
all three of your monsters, and it's like, why?
What's the point of giving these monsters a status caster if you're just going to take it away anyway?
Yeah,
Especially
and
for
then you,
Megataunt.
you use Seven Sins, and you get like shock on all of the monsters, and there's no ET. So it's like, why? Why is it like
It's
this?
just, you get the worst luck and they get the best luck. That's just how it turns out sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to conclude an interview with Chinchilla on ClockCast episode 2. Are there any closing remarks or anything else you'd like to say before we end this, Chinchilla?
Um, I hope the new era is doesn't get rid of the five trait monsters. I think those were really fun. None of them were like anything too crazy. Well, yeah, some of them
There are
were
a
really
couple.
good,
There are a
but
couple.
for the most part, I think they were fine, and they really helped to spruce up the strategy. So I hope they stick around and they don't do what they did with Zara, which is really boring. But yeah, that's the closing statement I'd like to give.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us today, Chinchilla, and thank you very much, viewer, for watching this entire thing through. I hope that you found our discussion interesting, enlightening, and educational, and that you can take something away from this to bring to your own gameplay, to bring to your team. But that is going to conclude this. If you enjoyed this entire video, make sure you drop a like so that I know that you enjoyed this. And of course, have great days, have great nights, make good decisions, and sleep well.